The dollar bill is the most universally recognized unit of currency in the world. But what does its distinctive design really signify? Embedded in the design are mysterious images and arcane symbols.
There's a very distinctive emblem, an uncompleted pyramid with the all-seeing eye of Providence at the top.
But why is it there, and what does it mean?
America's secret destiny is concealed in those symbols. It's a civilization without a belief in God.
Conspiracy theorists believe that these elaborate images are part of a political and religious plot dating all the way back to the birth of the United States of America. A plot that involves not only the Founding Fathers, but also one of the country's most revered presidents, Franklin D. Roosevelt. And at the heart of that conspiracy are the Freemasons.
Conspiracy is
some deep-seated paranoia.
She has many enemies.
What's going on behind the closed doors?
It's a conspiracy.
Conspiracy theories.
What are the secrets contained in the dollar bill?
Most people, of course, when they think of the Great Seal, they think of the obverse of the front side. And that is an eagle with arrows and olive branch and six-pointed star above the eagle's head. And that basically was a symbol that most Americans accept as our seal.
But on the back, or reverse of the note, there are two circular designs, because the original Great Seal was two-sided like a coin, with a front and a back face. The front face, or obverse, showed the familiar American eagle, but on the other side there is a much more enigmatic image.
It's a totally different experience altogether. There are symbols on it which aren't American. There are no pyramids in America.
But this pyramid was certainly on the original two-sided design, which was created as the official seal of the new America. The suggestion is that there was a conspiracy, that the design committees were infiltrated by a secret society, the Freemasons. So who are the Freemasons? Although their earliest origins are steeped in mystery, modern Freemasonry can be traced back to the craft guilds of stonemasons who built the great cathedrals of Europe.
The Freemasons were formed originally for the same reason that any craft organization was formed, much as a labor union today.
But by the early 1700s, Masonry was regarded as much more important than a mere craft guild. It had developed what might be considered an alternative philosophy, celebrating the knowledge and ancient traditions of the stoneworkers through the practice of elaborate and colorful rituals and indulging in clandestine ceremonies.
Their basic philosophy is the brotherhood of man and the fatherhood of God. They were all inclusive. They were supposed to include all religions.
By strict invitation only, aristocrats and scientists were welcomed into Masonic circles. They were eager to explore and discuss beliefs and ideas in the safety of their private lodges or meeting places. And it was men like these who assisted the spread of Freemasonry in America. Who put the symbols on the Great Seal of America and the back of the $1 bill, and why are they there? Conspiracy theorists are obsessed with the idea that these images have special significance for Freemasons. The fact that the pyramid on the Great Seal is unfinished is also significant.
The meaning is that when the capstone of the Great Pyramid is finally lifted into place, that's when America will truly become the nation that it is supposed to be.
The emblem of the pyramid is only the beginning of the case presented by conspiracy theorists, to see hidden Masonic codes and messages in the iconography of the dollar bill. They claim that the eye at the top of the pyramid is also a Masonic image derived from Egyptian hieroglyphs.
Something the ancient Egyptians called the Wadjet eye. And the Wadjet eye, the eye of Horus, as it's known as well, seems to represent eternal life. It seems to represent life itself and resurrection.
And it's the all-seeing eye of their God that they believe will indeed bring us Ordo ab Chao. That is their slogan, order out of chaos. That eye above the pyramid is not on the pyramid, which means their work is unfinished, and that the universe will be given order once their God assumes his rightful place in that pyramid. Above the eagle's head is a cluster of stars, 13 five-pointed stars, and when you draw lines between them, you'll draw a six-pointed star.
If the hexagonal star is lifted out and placed over the image of the pyramid, its points indicate specific letters in the Latin inscription surrounding it, which are thought to be an anagram.
Inside the American Dictionary is the word anagram, which is the intentional scrambling of the letters of a word to conceal the real word. So if you re-scramble, you get Masons. This is how we know that the Masons originated the drawings for the Great Seal of the United States.
This search for concealed meanings in the iconography is not confined to the imagery alone. It is claimed that the number 13, the most ominous number in Western tradition, is hidden throughout the symbols on the $1 bill.
The Masons in 1960 issued an article inside the New Age magazine in which they identify the number 13 and the numbers of different symbols connecting itself to 13 as being Masonic.
They point out the repetition of the symbolic number 13. There are 13 leaves on the olive branch in the eagle's right claw, 13 arrows in the left claw, 13 stars above the eagle's head, and 13 bars and stripes on the shield.
Count the feathers. You'll notice that there are 32 feathers on the bird's left wing and 33 on his right wing.
This is understood to refer to the 33 degrees of Masonry introduced by the Supreme Council of the Scottish Rite, America's most prominent Masonic order, whose national HQ is in Washington. It's suggested that there is one final piece of information on the dollar bill that proves a Masonic plot. Above the eye, at the apex of the pyramid, there is the Latin inscription Annuit Coeptis, which is loosely translated as, "Providence has favored our undertakings." But the Masonic conspiracy theorists claim that when it is combined with the lower inscription, a dark intention is unveiled.
America's secret destiny is involved in the Latin phrases Annuit Septis Novus Ordo Seclorum, announcing the birth of the New World Order, and that's what their goal is. The New World Order will be worldwide when it's instituted in the near future.
A new world order that abolishes the partnership of government and church as we know it. This is in stark contrast to the inscription above the number 1 on the dollar bill, "In God We Trust."
It's going to be a new civilization. We're not going to live the way we're living now.
It is predicted that this new world order will be a global phenomenon, superseding all national boundaries and ignoring the ownership of property. All traditional religions will be replaced by a new belief system dictated by the Masonic orders.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
All traditional religions will be replaced by a new belief system dictated by the Masonic orders.
Air station with nothing in it worth stealing. In this portion of the parking lot is a brick building, suitable for processing, next to a gate that leads right out to the railroad tracks. And all of this is contained inside a fully fenced area, now 3 layers deep in fencing at this point. This U.S. Air Force train indicates federal and military involvement. Facing the opposite direction, you can see that this area, too, is a very large fenced area with railroad track running the length of the fence and plenty of warehouses. This facility was supposed to have closed in June of 1993, yet instead several $1 million in federal funds have been spent on supposed renovations over the past 2 years. Inside this building is fencing and a cattle run section of fence, all topped by barbed wire, pointing inward, not to keep people out, but to keep people in. Even as we were filming, a black helicopter flew over us, observing what we were doing, which has happened many times when we have been at the facility.